Playday 3 has definitely been something that's, I think it's been truly competitive, Vast. We've seen 2 7-4s and then an overtime win for Invictus. What are your thoughts so far?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the Invictus order game was, seriously a really good game. Probably, one of my favorite games I've watched in a while. Just the back and forth. Haven't really seen a game like that that's just been so back and forth, like all the way till OT. We really didn't know who was going to win that game. And I think those matches in particular, when you just don't know who's going to win, they're a lot more exciting to watch.
They certainly are, and what's a little bit more exciting than that is being competitive. Now, you've got an opportunity because AIM Labs have teamed up with Siege to bring you the Combine, and, well, here's a little breakdown of it, right? You've got 5 tasks that you're going to be competing across with pretty much everyone there is that's going to be jumping in. Now, all those stats are tracked, and you've got things like, you've got your headshot, you've got your angle holding, your wall peeking. There's a variety of tasks that you're going to be trying to challenge against. All those stats are tracked. They're put on a player card, which then you can decide whether you want to flex on or maybe you want to hide. That's totally up to you. I'm not one to tell you what to do. However, I will tell you to do this. Go across to Steam, type in AIM Labs in the search bar, and make sure you download it. Jump in. It's on the home page. You cannot miss it. There's not even any prompts. You can't miss it. It's not possible. But what you can miss is the opportunity to be competitive. That's right. It finishes on the 27th of September, so make sure you jump in and get involved. Here's a video to explain a little bit better of what the Combine is. Now, you do have the ability to win some skins that'll be given to about 100 lucky contestants. Dev, we always have a bit of fun behind the scenes, don't we? It's all a good laugh. But what's not a good laugh is how serious this next matchup is going to be. It's Chiefs and Direwolves, both of these teams with, I would say, somewhat of a chip on their shoulder, wouldn't you?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Direwolves are a team that have started really, really slowly so far in APAC South, and Chiefs are a team that have lost their best player, to the desk. So that's a real struggle. But as for the Direwolves, formerly 7th Heaven, they were picked up by Oceanic Organization Direwolves. And look, I mean, it just hasn't quite been what they had hoped for so far in APAC South, losing their opening game to Order, a team they'd always beaten in the past. However, they did beat Q-Confirm on their second Playday, so it's not all lost. Now, they brought on Jackie Wu, a really young up-and-coming player that hasn't played at this level of competition before, and honestly, he's looking like a pretty strong addition to the team.
Yeah, certainly are. Now, as we look at the Chiefs, Vast, it's always fair to go to you because we know that you can give us the most insight. Now, I think you've gotten into trouble a bit before for giving too much insight on this roster, so you can hold back a little bit, but give us your thoughts.
Oh, look, Dev was just spot on, losing their best player. It's, how do you
get off it?
How do you come back from that? But, picking up. Now, this team, it's the Chiefs. Everyone knows them. Picking up Ethan, we've talked about it a lot, what it's done for this team.
Yeah.
They really want to make a statement in APAC South. They've been the back-to-back champs of OCN, but, they want to go further than that. They want to be, going to playoffs. They want to go to, majors, as we've seen, the Knights and, Invictus and whatnot. So they want to follow in those footsteps and really do well in APAC South.
Yeah, they want to go to the big dance, and it's good that they finally have someone on their roster that can take them there. Hey, Vast. But Dev, how are we feeling about this roster overall? Coming up against the Direwolves, this is certainly a test of them. Sorry, Vast, I can't. Sorry,
You couldn't let me have one, Matic, you know.
Never, never. Hey, look,
please.
the Chiefs actually came out against really, really strong in APAC South. Their opening game, they beat Elevate on Chalet. Really, really strong result. Elevate's always been a troublesome team for the Chiefs to deal with in the past. Playday number 2, though, was the real anomaly. They went back to bank against Wildcard, which they had literally the night before played against Wildcard in OCN, beaten Wildcard pretty handily, looked pretty comfortable, and they go back, same map, same team, and they lose really convincingly. They looked really shocking. They didn't play very similarly overall, and they just looked off their game. And Chiefs haven't been flawless in OCN either. They've the ball drop against Bliss. So I think that Chiefs are a team that are looking to kind of struggle, make a bit of a comeback. I feel like have high expectations on them for stage 3. But yeah, they're going to have to put a legwork in to live up to them.
They certainly are. Vast, as we look at the vetoes, I'll let you have the first pick of the lot. You can say what you feel. I know you like to talk about the actual bans rather than where we're going, but it is juicy. We're going to the sunny coast.
Oh, we haven't seen a coast in a while. Every team kind of hates it this season. I mean, looking at these bans, you know, Bank, you know, I kind of expected Chiefs to ban that. They kind of did look a bit shaky against Wildcard the second time playing it, as you guys said. So maybe they want to, you know, take some time to just reevaluate it, rework it. Well, not necessarily rework, but just reevaluate and kind of see where they're going wrong. I mean, Direwolves banning Cafe is quite interesting. I thought, I mean, they've won it once, they've lost it once. So, I mean, you know, the Cafe is not really a map that Chiefs are known to play. So, you know, maybe Direwolves were reading into that. Maybe, I don't know, they just didn't want to, they wanted to go to a fresh map that Chiefs don't really have info on them, which I think is actually kind of a smart decision there from the Direwolves.
Certainly so. Dev, I know you've got your stat tracker up. Give us the thoughts.
Well, I mean, it's hard because Direwolves, obviously, that 7th Heaven roster is a very different situation to Direwolves, right? But in terms of they haven't played Coastline, neither of these teams have played reworked Coastline at all. So there's that, firstly. Chiefs, if you look further back, like they've had some pretty strong Coastline results. Beat Knights, for example, in OCN. Beat Bliss in OCN. So historically old Coastline was a good map for them. Direwolves, I don't have as much info, like I said. So I think that everything is going to be taken with a grain of salt, as this is a slightly different Coastline. Like, not as significant changes as we saw on Bank, but definitely more significant than we saw on Clubhouse. So pretty hard to read. I feel like Chiefs is probably going to be the favored team in this matchup, but just the level of inconsistency we've seen from both them and Direwolves does make me not take anything for granted.
All right, well, gents, the game is almost ready, so we'll go for quick last predictions. Please keep it quick. Let's not sit around for too much longer, Vast. I'm looking at you, mate. We know you like to waffle. What are we thinking?
Yeah. All right. I see how it is. Yeah, Chiefs. There you go, Matic.
Chiefs? Yeah,
Chiefs
that was
win.
nice and quick. Well, are we thinking dominant or are we thinking close?
I think it'll be close.
Yeah. Dev?
Look, Chiefs lost their best player, so not a chance. It's definitely Direwolves.
All right, we're split.
Actually,
on
I go to Dev's answer.
No, you're stuck with Chiefs now. You're hard stuck with the boys, that's for sure. But that'll do us on the desk. We're going to pass it over to one of your favourite duos in all of Siege. It's Xenox and Guz.
Well, I mean, that's just not true, but I'll take it, Matic, as long as we're your favourite. That's really all that matters to me. But I am looking forward to this matchup, of course. Guys, Direwolves, Chiefs, two different sort of teams really coming into this game, but they've got similar ambitions, which is to basically just make top 4. The ambition itself not being like number 1 or anything, it's just, let's just get there.
Yes, it is. And Coastline will be the battleground, which is always exciting. We haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, it's been a little bit hidden away, hasn't it, at this stage? Of course, over in the National League as well, it's I don't even think it's been played at all. Maybe even just once, and that's about it. But yeah, Coastline, of course, rearing its head for the completion of Playday 3. Direwolves, Chiefs, both on 3 points coming into this game. A win for either team would see them go up to, I believe, 2nd place. Unless it's the Chiefs, in which, of course, they do not have the head-to-head for wildcard. And while the standings is a bit nonsense at this point, we're getting to the point where it will start to really matter, probably from next week onwards as we get into the ban phase.
Yeah, Thatcher Ying taken off the board. Thatcher not too unexpected, just globally, not necessarily overly effective on Coastline, but most teams just feel comfortable with it off the board. Ying followed up there from the Chiefs, maybe looking to nullify some aggression. Again, with flashes being reworked, she's more powerful than ever. Valk as well, meaning that information gathering might be stunted a little bit here for the defense. And with Mute taken off the board, drones can flurry in clearing out roamers.
I mean, that's basically, yeah. I don't know what else to say.
Well done, guys. You did a really good job explaining the bans. You are such an amazing person.
I didn't even need to add it to it. Let's just get into it. Direwolves on the defense, Chiefs on the attack. As I said, we haven't really seen too much of Coastline recently, so I'm very excited for this game. And on top of the fact that you've got, two teams that I think are, I don't want to say evenly matched. I think Chiefs probably have a little bit more potential, but in APAC South, they've always been kind of around the same level as each other.
Yeah, Chiefs, for whatever reason, in APAC South, not quite finding as much success as they have locally in OC, and I don't know how much of that is necessarily the standard of play is obviously going to be a little bit higher, but maybe their playstyle isn't quite as compatible against some of those Southeast Asian teams, for example. So I think this match is going to give us really good insight on that. Coastline, even after being reworked, is no doubt going to be quite aggressive, very frag heavy, and map control is going to be really hardly fought. So yeah, I'm super keen how it gets played by both of these teams. And I'm also excited to see how much the rework affects the map, right? As you've said, we haven't seen it in APAC South, we haven't seen it in OCN. We've seen it a touch in some of the other regions around the world, but yeah, I don't know what APAC South's take on it is going to be.
Yeah, I'm a little bit confused right now. So it seems like something is going on behind the scenes, but on top of that, the Penthouse Theatre pick, is that?
Yeah, okay. I didn't
is
even
that
notice
locked in?
yeah, it is at this point.
We don't see that, right? So I'm just a little all over the shop right now.
Yeah, so Penthouse Theatre, there's probably a couple of people in the chat that are 70 years old now with 3 kids and a mortgage probably that remember when the map came out, that Penthouse was the primary site. I mean, I remember vividly, it was the go-to site. Why would you go anywhere else? It was the best site. Then obviously it did fall off, and a lot of that was off the back of Attack really unlocking the site. I don't know how much the rework is actually going to affect this objective. VIP now, instead of the window, has a wall that can be reinforced. So maybe we'll see that lent into. We'll see more of an aggressive extension be viable here on the defense. But yeah, I'm keen to see what Direwolves can throw at their opposition.
I think whenever you have these sort of reworks, large or small, I guess, it does allow teams to say, hey, let's actually look into this. Let's see if we can add it to our arsenal, something that we can sort of include, especially you get the mind games. All right, we're going to go to Coastline, but they're not going to realize we're going to want to play Penthouse Theatre. That could be the edge. That could just be one round that maybe is the difference between the teams. And we are going to see it. And I can now officially say, guys, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, I had my first library living. This is my first Penthouse Theatre. So it's just that kind of year or month.
Well done. Do you want a medal for that achievement?
No, all I'm trying to do is just specify that, obviously, yeah, there's been a rework, but a minor one.
Well, I mean, yeah, we're already seeing, right? So pretty aggressive here in towards VIP. 90 hold in particular, even pre-rework, started to get quite popular as that wall can be difficult to clear with Mute available. Of course, Mute not available here, but it's no doubt even more powerful now with VIP being quite a stronghold. Again, I'm just super keen to kind of just sit back and really absorb this round. I don't know how much experience the Chiefs have scrimming on this rework. We don't know that, only they will. But I'm keen to see if, this site has been something that has been practiced, is historically the least played objective. So I don't know how well versed the Chiefs will be in clearing this.
Also, whether or not the Chiefs are going to be expecting it, ready for it. Yeah, 100%. It seems as if they've obviously you're going to realize pretty quickly, and top teams should always be ready for basically every site. Just because we don't see it too often doesn't mean they're not going to be ready for it. But Digital does get caught by ED. Nice little start here for Direwolves. And if this is going to be the sort of site that, is to catch the Chiefs off guard and for the Direwolves to really play off of, you've got to be winning it. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts. This is your site. This is something we don't see too often. Got to be making advantage of it.
Yeah, Direwolves' opportunity to open up the game, extend a lead, or establish a lead, not extend a lead because they don't have one already. So yeah, critical round. Now Fisho will begin to apply pressure. He's on the white stairs rappel, looking to open up theatre. Worthy from the roof. Keep in mind the lines of sight available on the roof are now very much limited. Doesn't find that pick. If he finds that, brings it back to the 4v4, then Chiefs would have been in a lot better position. Yeah,
not quite as risque making that run down the corridor as it used to be. Minute and 20 seconds remaining. Direwolves still with that one-man advantage. God Legion now pushing up white stairs close to where Edie was originally. I think Direwolves are more than happy to just now sort of play off of sight a little bit here, close to sight as well. Still got that deployable shooting at the corridor that needs to be taken out by the Chiefs. As Ray is actually taking a little bit of damage here. In fact, very low in health. Jackie Wu is also taking damage. In fact, Jackie Wu is going to be just straight dead by Worthy.
Yeah, Worthy's still on the roof. Oh my word, almost gets a second there onto Souffle.
Look how low they all are.
Not quite hitting the mark. Yeah, the Chiefs, they need to try and come up with something. I think Fisher opening that line of sight might be an entry point now into towards rear theatre. That could be where they try and get this plant down. If they do force a rotation here from Direwolves and have the cutoffs, they should win this round, the Chiefs.
Still 2 Nitro cells available for Direwolves though, so you can't discount that.
Oh, the breach, it's not great. And ED finds that kill. That could be the turning point.
God Legion low. Does have Diffuser close by to him, and Worthy, Ethan both buying kills. Ethan is able to get another one. He almost lost his life for it, but he wins that fight against Pika. Final E1D. Souffle, the last player, takes a few shots as he pushes into VIP, but God Legion's going to be able to get this Diffuser down. That's the Chiefs, you would think, from here, being able to close out this opening round. So much for the sort of pocket pick here from Direwolves with the Penthouse Theatre site. They're going to lose it to the Chiefs.
10 HP and a Dream. God Legion to crush that Dream. Really well played there by the Chiefs. The breach was absolutely scuffed, but they managed to work around it, find those picks seemingly out of nowhere. And as I said, force that rotation from that position. Direwolves could not hold on.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't know, that site didn't really sort of blow me away or anything, guys. There was not a whole lot of vert control. It was pretty horizontal, pretty much top floor, spread out. The only sort of aggression from Direwolves was Edie at bot white, and that was about it. And then just kind of bunkered down. I think Chiefs actually sort of just took their time and sort of picked apart the site a bit, and to their credit was able to sort of get that opening round. And you do wonder, is that something now Direwolves are going to try and fall back on in this first half? Are they going to go back there? Or was that kind of like a one-off? Like, are they just like, all right, we tried it, didn't work, let's go back to scrims and try it there, but for now, let's just focus on what we've got to do in this match?
Yeah, I really don't know if that site's going to be more viable with the rework. That's something we'll need to track over time. Here in APAC South, it looked pretty well drilled from both teams. Direwolves had a pretty extensive setup established, right? I mean, it went as far as pool table, where they had shields, but on the same token, the Chiefs looked pretty well rehearsed. There were a couple of times there where it felt like they was kind of stalling, especially over towards white stairs, but for the most part, it looked well drilled. Like, Fisho seemed to be able to open that wall quite freely. Yes, he didn't quite get the placement right, so it didn't open properly, but if it did, honestly, Chiefs probably would have won it more convincingly. You had Worthy still posted up on the roof, and despite that roof position being nowhere near as powerful as it used to be, he still managed to make it work, which is really, really impressive as well, and did a great job in countering that extension from Direwolves. So, yeah, I think the Chiefs just did a better job reading into that play.
Yeah, and probably expecting Hookah Billiards to be a bit more of the staple structured kind of coastline that we come to expect. So we had a bit of fun there with Pent Theatre, but we move on. Ethan through kitchen, nice and early, just seeing what utility he can take out, defaults, etc. Souffle capturing himself a nice drone, as the Chiefs will look to open up many avenues here. Of course, eventually I would expect to come through Aqua.
I thought you were going to make another point.
No?
Okay.
All right, we got 2 minutes to go. There's a lot that can happen. I don't want to speculate too much.
Don't want to use up all your
your
oxygen too early.
I got to save it for the final 30 seconds.
Yeah, that's where you do shine. I'll give that to you. In terms of this round, though, Finker being brought out here by the Chiefs is pretty cool. So you'll see Ethan likely have a pretty significant impact. Digital already with control over towards bot Cool Vibes, using flashbangs to burn out that position. I think a nade was actually followed up there, maybe from the Chiefs. Either way, though, that player's still safe. A lot of pressure being applied here, and it looks like the Chiefs wanting to get hookah control.
And a bit of a pinch here on Pika as well. I mean, he's fine. He's got the ADSs. He's also got that deployable shield. But if he goes on site, Chiefs have got vert control. And if he pushes down Cool Vibes, you saw Digital just down below at Sunrise. He could maybe catch Digital. In fact, I think he just had a bit of a shot onto God Legion. But controlling Cool Vibes here is definitely still going to be very impactful for Direwolves. So Pika really in a very pivotal position.
Now, the Chiefs need to be careful of Blue Bar. I don't know who... Maybe that play was cleared, not too sure. But either way, Pika on the shotgun, holding down the stairs. Definitely not one of the better guns for taking on opponents, but he did make it work for the first. Digital not quite having the confidence to back that up, and he doesn't have any flashbangs left. Pika avoiding every single flashbang flying his way. He's doing a great job.
But, I mean, like, the shotgun's fine in that position. In fact, Digital going for the skeleton key. He's like, well, you've got one, I'll just get one as well. For that sort of angle, for that sort of position, why not? It's Ray, though, with a really good angle. But there's only 20 seconds left in the round here. So Direwolves have already been able to sort of hold on for so long. Ray does get flashed, but Digital, I don't think, ended up peeking it.
Oh, whoa.
Ethan just found 3 kills. All right, just push on a site, Adrenal Surge, and then just kill everyone. Done. Ethan's like, you know what? I've had enough. No more Cool Vibes. I'm going straight into site, and I'm just killing everyone.
Straight into sight. Yeah. I didn't know I was casting with Dev.
He probably said it in that manner as well. He just did it so aggressively.
I mean, you just click the button, enter, no recoil, bit of a health boost, boom. Get the job done. No patience.
Well, look, I think it was definitely falling apart, though, for the Chiefs had Ethan not...
Someone had to do something. Someone had to go for a play, and he was the one to do that. I do think there's probably enough time, though, to, you know, be a little bit more... tame with their approach there. It didn't necessarily have to fall onto the shoulders of Ethan, but yeah, he kind of just seized that opportunity and did really well. So yeah, well played by the Chiefs. There were definitely some concerns in that round. They wasted a lot of utility over towards Cool Vibes for nothing. I don't think many of those flashbangs hit. There was only one we spectated that actually did flash an opponent. Pika, for example, did a great job holding down the fort there with that shotgun. It is a terrible weapon. He did a good job to find a kill. I don't know how he managed to achieve that, and we saw him punished by Digital not long after. So yeah, credit has to go to him, but yeah, it wasn't really enough there from Direwolves, unable to do much to really counter a lot of that control that Chiefs ascertained really early in the round down below. I would have liked to see some more pressure on that red bar position, because it didn't really look like the Chiefs were too worried about that backside for a lot of that round.
Well, they got like kitchen control, sunrise control inside the first 40 seconds of the game.
And I think one person tried to flank from the defense, and that was probably the kill. I didn't quite link them one-to-one because we didn't see it on screen.
Did they?
But yeah, there was, I'm 99% sure someone flanked Blue Bar, and then there was a death, so I can only assume it was them.
Yeah, we didn't really obviously see too much action over towards Blue Bar because Chiefs were able to get Sunrise and Kitchen immediately. Most importantly, Sunrise, especially when you're, you know, got Digital on the buck and how much he can really open up. I think it basically just forced everyone off of Hooker immediately for Direwolves, which is why Pika got kind of caught in that position. And yeah, he had the ADSs, he had the deployable shield, but still not ideal. And Ethan's just done the same thing again. Push straight into Kitchen, get rid of the default. Now you can push and take that sort of bot Cool Vibes position. Obviously, I don't think Sunrise, again, is going to have too much pressure from Direwolves. And right now, this could end up just being a bit of a repeat of the last round.
Yeah, and Ethan already posting some pretty ridiculous numbers, 5-0. And we've known that in the past, when he played for Wildcard not too long ago, that he definitely could have games where he absolutely popped off.
Why is there so many on that side on the second floor for Direwolves?
Good question.
Well, I'm asking you.
I mean, it's up to the... wow, Chiefs literally just need to drone sight. If they drone sight here and call one player, they can just converge, but I don't think they've really made that connection just yet. And, I mean, I don't see why they can't drone sight, no mute.
It's a bit late now.
Board, so.
The only thing is, I guess, for Direwolves is it's not really like a horizontal extension, but it's almost like a horizontal roam, making sure that they've got those positions covered. And it's very easy, especially on Coastline, from those positions to run back over towards site. But it means that the Chiefs are just having their way with Blue Bar Sunrise and bot Cool Vibes, Kitchen. It's just all theirs for this Hooker Billiard site. Nice angle found from Worthy as well. And Yeah, I'm a little bit perplexed here from the defensive positioning and attitude from Direwolves. I'm really confused.
And it's really not worked out for them so far.
Was that a run out from Pico as well?
Yeah, I don't know where the hell he came from, but either way, aggressive down inside of Hookah, swings wide, shut down by Fisho. And it's Jackie Wu and Ed, I believe, offsite to try and retake. ED will reclaim Vars, swing top white, but Digital ready and waiting. Jackie Wu in the 1v5.
Yeah, and Chiefs, this is... there's just no pressure put on them at all from the way that Direwolves have been setting up here defensively. Jackie Wu, a man against it all, flawless round. Yeah. And it's not to take anything away from the Chiefs. I just don't think that they did anything too crazy. Getting control of Sunrise, they were not met with pressure at all.
The thing for me in that round, right, we saw in round 2, same site, the Chiefs did a very similar attack pattern to what they did in that previous round. Yeah, Direwolves went for this wild extension elsewhere. Now, I don't know if Chiefs are directly going for that playthrough blue bar because they know that Direwolves are so far aside on the other side of the map, or whether or not that's default. But like I said last time, Direwolves need to do a better job in disrupting that and actually forcing some flank watch and some caution, at least from the attack, to slow them down. But the Chiefs, just given free reign to do whatever they want, that they got those picks, they were able to flash out cool vibes, make sure that was pretty clear, and like by that point, the round was completely over. So yeah, a bit peculiar there from Direwolves. I understand. If you want to extend, that's great if the Chiefs are going for bedroom across takes, but they just were not doing that. So extending like that, probably not going to produce results.
And we go back to Penthouse Theatre now for the second time, which, I mean, theoretically performed a little bit better than Hookah Billiards, but still, yeah, I'm just a little bit confused again here why they once again are going to be attempting this. It wasn't too bad, and the way they extended out was fine. It's almost ironic, but in a way, the way they were playing the last round of Hookah Billiards, they had so much presence actually around Penthouse Theatre. Now they're going to actually be at Penthouse Theatre, and they're probably going to extend out to Hookah Billiards.
Yeah, now they've substituted Kaid Bandit in this round, and I'm keen to see how much that has an effect on the ability for Fisho on the hard breach in particular to get anything done. We did see batteries on the VIP wall, so that could be challenging, but again, last time we saw top of white be taken by the Chiefs, and even though the breach was a little bit undesirable, couldn't actually be entered upon, it was still a successful round for the attack. Digital again, entering below. Bit more pressure this time, but for the most part, pretty unchecked. And again, okay, I was going to say unchecked, but no, there we go. Great pressure from Pika, gets the kill. And finally, Direwolves don't have to worry about Vert, or it being as much of an issue. Yes, Ethan's still available, but from below, he won't have as much of an impact as the Buck.
Yeah, and that's the difference maker there for Direwolves, is you've got yourself a position, an angle that is somewhat aggressive, right? You yourself are not positioned aggressive, but you're looking at a really important area there as Pika actually finds a second now onto Ethan. And so far, this is so much better from Direwolves playing the site, not necessarily, but playing off of the site. This is heaps better. And ED actually finds a kill too, and this is turning into a bit of a flawless round. And I mean, how much of it is to actually do with Panthera? I guess it does actually come down to the way they're playing off of it and the angles and the positions based on this site. So full credit to Direwolves.
Yeah, a lot more proactive here from the defense, not giving anything to the Chiefs for free. Yes, they allowed Digital to enter and make his way through Pebbles, but then immediately shut down when he was anywhere near below the site. And then the other two players just shut down completely as well. So, well
this
done.
Is so restricted
by
now.
Direwolves. And yeah, I mean, at this point, there's really nothing you can do except go for a miracle, maybe a hatch drop bathroom or something, see what could be achieved. But yeah, this round's over.
Well, Worthy is still alive. Should mention that it's Worthy, but he does die to Souffle. That's a big kill. If honestly, if Worthy finds that, it's a 2 versus 3. It's suddenly doable, especially with God Legion helping out. But yeah, unfortunately, God Legion has literally 1 out of 100 health, and that's it. That's the main factor as to why he's going to probably lose this, and he does. And well played to Direwolves. They get their first round win of this matchup. But that's Pen Theatre off the board. Are they going to reattempt Hookah Billiards or maybe Kitchen?
Yeah, I don't think Hookah Billiards is really going to be the play unless they're going to
Blue
innovate.
Bar Sun?
Majorly. Yeah, Blue Bar makes a bit more sense. Again, though, there's no doubt that we're going to see extreme vert play here. Digital, his goal is just going to be in hookah and harass as much as possible. So Direwolves will probably need to try and counter that. Do they, you know, try and hold ground up above? I don't know. That could be a little bit risky, but it is a factor that needs to be in the back of their minds. If they allow that vert to open up the site too much, find a pick or two, they're going to find themselves in a lot of trouble, because Blue Bar and Sunrise, I believed, as far as I understand, is going to play it very, very similar to old Coastline. It hasn't really been changed at all, so we expect very similar playstyle.
Curious to see how much emphasis Direwolves as well will put into their vert play above, especially with, you know, Digital on the board. But nonetheless, so far the way they've been playing this Coastline, they very much have been extending out horizontally. A couple of reinforcements inside of Kitchen. Maybe a bit of pressure over towards main lobby as well. Definitely do not want to allow the Chiefs, though, to get full hooker and billiards control for free. I haven't really seen too much of a presence up above at all just yet. A little bit. What is that?
Who is that?
Is that Jackie?
Souffle? Yeah, I thought it might be Jackie too, but no, it's Souffle. Yeah, this is something. This is going to go one or two ways. If the Chiefs spot him, he's 100% dead. They'll choke him out. If they manage to miss-drone him, Souffle could do a lot of damage. The Roni is a fantastic weapon.
This is something that I would probably do in one of my ranked games. I just run to the other side of the map, sit in the corner, and try and catch someone. Although he just gets absolutely droned out and taken out immediately. It does not work. Credit for trying, though. You know, it's a bit of a rat play, but honestly, who cares? Whatever works and whatever can get you the win, do it. But it just doesn't work in that instance. Obviously, the goal is to try and catch someone by surprise, find a kill, run back to site. If you can. But you can't. Man advantage now for the Chiefs here on Blue Bar Sunrise. And with that one-man advantage, they've got also pretty decent vert control above, which should be pretty easily to accomplish.
Oh,
they get a second kill.
Pika, was that it like sawn a door, like running
This round's
out?
falling away.
It feels like Direwolves are trying to counter the Chiefs and gaining map control, but in doing so, they are playing really, really aggressively. They're also not roaming in pairs, so their ability to trade is super low. It's just very high risk here. Ethan to just get another free kill. It's falling apart for Direwolves. These defenses have been really, really challenging for them, and the Chiefs are just doing a great job of dismantling it. They're droning out ahead, finding where these players are and dealing with them accordingly.
And getting close to that minute mark now as well. Edie over towards Cool Vibes. He's pretty much, I guess, a little par for the course trade, but he's very low on health and didn't find the elimination that he was looking for. That adrenal surge really helping out Digital as well. And this is kind of what I expected to happen maybe even 30, 40 seconds earlier, but just full control of hooker billiards. Digital could just go to town, remodel the floor, as you used to say, Guz, and get this full vert control. But one thing that is always notable about the Chiefs, you got a 5-on-2, they don't just rush site, they continue their setup all the way until the end.
Flawless.
It's the second flawless as well in this matchup, and so far, besides that one Pen Theater round from the Direwolves, which was, you know, pretty much flawless themselves, it's been very Chiefs-sided here in this opening half, 4-1. But how much of that is Coastline? I know in Stage 2, for whatever reason, defenders were having an absolute field day, making it very difficult on the attackers to gain a bit of a foothold. But this has been more so like Stage 1 Coastline, where the attackers are just running around killing everyone.
Yeah, the thing for me is, are we going to see this translate over to the second half? Is Coastline naturally going to be very, very attacker-sided in this matchup, or Direwolves just not playing very well at the moment, and Chiefs obviously playing great? I'm kind of inclined to think the latter. Direwolves are going for some pretty wild setups, and the Chiefs are doing a really great job in dismantling them and dealing with them accordingly. So, yeah, I don't know. Still trying to get a read on this matchup. It has been fun to watch so far. Probably not so much if you're a Direwolves fan. Unfortunately, they are struggling a little bit at the moment. yeah, if you can't shut down Ethan and Worthy, who are both popping off, your life is always going to be challenging. So we'll see what they can produce here. If they are, again, going to play aggressive, going to roam, try and do it in pairs, play off one another a little bit more and offer that support, we are seeing a lot of utility, reinforcements, barricades, etc. invested on this side of the map. So it does look like Direwolves once again are, you know, wanting to hold on to as much of the map as possible.
Ooh, early pick onto Digital. That's a big one. Taking out the buck. Man advantage now as well for Direwolves. It's really what you want to probably see more of from them here on Coastline. It's the final round, though, for them defensively. So maybe a little bit too little too late, but still, you win this 4-2. Not the end of the world. You can bring it back quite easily in the second half. Didn't quite see where Digital actually died, but nonetheless, it will mean that the side of Hooker especially won't be opened up as easily from down below in Sunrise. Direwolves can have an easier time on site.
Ethan on the hunt. We saw him explosively find 3 kills last time, and well, Ray will feed God Legion. Almost 2-fed there as ED as well. Taken very, very low. I think he is holding that Vase position once more. Souffle down below, whips out the pistol, does find a kill there onto God Legion. Evens out the man count, but 2 players down below will need to make their way back up those stairs, which will be tough.
Still one more Adrenal Surge available after this one dissipates, so that'll help. And then how about 2 quick kills from Worthy? It's the Worthy and Ethan show, although Souffle does put an end to one part of the dynamic duo, who is very low, bottom of cool vibes. Fisher guy now has that info and intel. So does Ethan. He can watch those stairs. Souffle, you are not getting up there whatsoever. Ethan's watching, and Ethan says no. 4-2, oh sorry, no, 5-1 half. Jeez, almost gave a round to the Direwolves. 5-1 half to the Chiefs. And Guz, Ethan is just balling.
Yeah, I really don't know what more to add to that. He's just having a field day. His teammates are finding the intel. They're clearing out positions, making these defenders, or they made those defenders feel really, really uncomfortable. And then Ethan, off the back of that, able to click the button for the Adrenal Surge and just go send and find kills. So very successful half for him. The rest of the team playing really, really well in supporting that play style. But now we see the tables turn. Are we going to see this trend now flip? Will Direwolves be as successful now on the attack? We're already seeing some very, very interesting picks here, right? Glaz being brought out here, not overly popular.
The
Did get a
Flores?
magazine increase, so maybe a little bit more viable.
The Blitz?
And then the Blitz from Souffle to maybe try and cause a bit of chaos.
What's the end goal with this lineup? I'm missing it, although to be fair, that's not difficult. I miss most things in this game, but yeah.
I mean, it's probably going to divulge into
Window? Like
the smokes being deployed. Glass holding down some weird long angle somewhere, and Souffle sending it and trying to find picks off the back of the finger boost. Jackie might get a bit of work done with Veteros early to clear out some of this utility, like the Banshees from Worthy, as just one example, and maybe ED could get a bit of vert. But I expect a lot of aggression here from Direwolves, and again, we've seen a lot of it in the first half, so maybe they're not going to slow down.
Look, I will say that, thank you guys, you've actually kind of opened my eyes to it a little bit. Worthy being a little bit of a nuisance, will fall back. I wonder how much this is actually going to catch the Chiefs by surprise. And those Rotero drones, especially on Coastline, I think are a little bit undervalued. There is a lot of sites that we can actually see the Flores make use of those Rotero drones, Kitchen being one of them. So much that can be cleared. Already one deployable shield taken out. Still has 3 more drones. Digital, though, finds the opening pick onto the Pika. Or the Pika onto the Glaz, which is Pika. There goes Ray. Quick double from Dig. Souffle also gets tagged out pretty heavy. This is not working out at all for Direwolves. This is 6-1.
What are we watching?
I don't know. It's like ranked.
This is just... yeah, this is pretty weird at the moment. So... Souffle is sending it deep. Jackie's still outside sending drones in towards site. They're in a 3v5. They need guns up to try and find picks and trades, but neither of which is
Someone's
really
going to
happening.
swing him from like man lobby or something.
Now, yeah, Jackie's just stuck in a really bad spot. And it's probably going to be another flawless round.
He expects to run out. This would be the third flawless round for the Chiefs. This will also be match point. Oh, the timing.
Why is he droning?
I'm sorry, but you just the
Jackie.
best part is he can see Ethan running right at him and he's like, oh, I'm dead.
Jackie.
Oh no. Match point to the Chiefs. It all just fell apart for the Direwolves in that round. Oh, this has been very one-sided.
What am I even meant to say about that round, dude?
You got to analyze it, cuz.
Analyze that. What?
Glass Blitz combo.
I'll leave that to Vast on the desk. He's much more acquainted with that than I am. I have no
I reckon
no
I already know what he'll say. He'll say, I don't know.
Well, let's move on from that round. Blue Sunrise up next, and the Chiefs with a huge buffer to close out this map. Souffle going to 6-pick off Blitz onto Jackal, suggesting that we might see a slightly more measured approach here from Direwolves, potentially take map control in combination with the Dokkaebi, locate where these rooms are and try to pick them apart one by one. Roaming was the downfall of Direwolves, or at least the way they played off their roam in the first half. If the Chiefs commit to something similar, I'm keen to see if it does produce a slightly better result.
Yeah, it's hard to sit back and say that this game is still winnable for Direwolves. Because it's not. It's very much not. They had a good win against QC last week. Prior to that, they got beaten by an Order team that very evidently has not been able to do very well after that. Worthy gets Jackie Wu.
That was the same spawn peak he was going to do last round.
Jackie Wu 0-8, Ray 0-6. Just a struggle.
It has been very rough for DW. Yeah, this has not been the result they'd be looking for, and honestly not a great start to the Coastline campaign either. I feel like there's a fair chance we're probably not going to see this brought out from them.
We are never going to see Direwolves play this map ever again. While this team is
definitely
together.
Not against Chiefs.
Just definitely not against Chiefs. But look, I think the thing for the Chiefs, right, for those who aren't aware, they absolutely dominate the national competition. And they dominate it because in the playoffs, when we head to best of threes and in grand finals best of fives, their map pool is very extensive. Arguably, I think in the region, and that includes the Knights, they've got the best map pool. They can go to pretty much any map, including Bank, and do well. So for the Chiefs coming to Coastline, I think they would have been just rubbing their hands together like, all right, bring it on. And Direwolves are like, oh, we're going to get them with Penn Theatre, and it just didn't work. So evidently, you're looking at a team in the Chiefs that I think is starting to bring and play that systematic approach, even on sites like Coastline, where sometimes there's a bit of that chaos, and they're bringing it to APAC South. We're finally seeing them be that flawless, ruthless Chiefs from OCN here in APAC South.
Yeah, we've been waiting a while for that transition, as the Chiefs' results in APAC South haven't been terrible, but also haven't quite been amazing. And we know there's a lot of potential on this roster. The acquisition of Ethan in replacement of whoever that last guy was that played for them. I think his name was Vast or something. No doubt serving them well so far. And right on cue, Ethan drops down Array, and it's 5v3.
Yeah, and honestly, Ethan's performance here highlights why he's been such a valuable pickup and why getting rid of Vast was the difference maker here for the Chiefs doing well in APAC South. It's pretty clear, 12-2-3. Does die, but still a man advantage for the Chiefs as ED is pushing down Cool Vibes. 4 versus 3, 50 seconds remaining. And this will be our second 7-1 of the stage. The first one actually being the very first game of Stage 3, Knights over Wildcard 7-1. Unless Direwolves, of course, can maybe find a way to find a kill onto Worthy. That's the biggest one. Gold Legion gets Pika. And that probably seals it with 30 seconds left, although he runs straight into the sightlines of Souffle. 3 versus 2, but Worthy's still alive.
Oh, a bit of an awkward timing there on the peak, but yeah, you're right. Great position for the Chiefs. A lot of crosses held. Fisher as well will not die short, or to close range rather, with that shotgun in hand. So getting entry here will be tough. Nitrocell
as well. Easy kill for Worthy. He's got 2. He goes to double digits. Ooh. Digital does die to Souffle, makes it a 2 versus 1. He'll have to stick that diffuser though, and unfortunately for Souffle. No one is there to cover him. Does get it off though, but immediately it's winnable? No, not at all. Worthy and Fisher guy got this one covered. 7-1 to the Chiefs. The early GGs, the counter defuse from Worthy. Double digits. It was the Worthy and Ethan show here on Coastline, and that man's about to launch off into space. The Chiefs find yet another 3 points. They go to 6. They go to the top 3. They're looking pretty good after 3 play days.
And that may well be one of the most comfortable wins we have seen from the Chiefs all year. They have just flexed their muscles on Coastline. A huge map. Ethan and Worthy going large. They'll be absolutely filled with this result. I don't think it really could have gone all that much better.
Yeah, look, honestly speaking, that was really good from the Chiefs. Really, really good. I thought the way that they actually played this match, they never really got sort of too involved into what Direwolves were doing. They just played their game, played their style, dictated the tempo. But what the hell was that from Direwolves, guys? I'm sorry. I don't want to do it. I really don't. But there was some very, very questionable decision-making, lineups, positioning. It was just very, very questionable all around. I wonder if is that a Coastline thing, right? Or is that a Direwolves thing? Sometimes you can have teams go to a map, they play it, maybe they haven't played it for a while, they do some different things, and it doesn't work out. And then you get a scoreline like that, but then they come in next week, they go to a map that they're comfortable on, and then they kind of go like, and we sit back and like, why couldn't you have just done that last week? But hey, they tried something, didn't work.
Yeah, they did try a lot of new things. I mean,
Yeah.
we got a great look at it. On the defense, we were seeing a lot of extensions and a lot of new stuff that was trying to play off some of the reworked elements of the map. But honestly, the Chiefs just stuck to pretty basic stuff. They didn't allow their setups to ruffle their feathers all that much, and didn't need to do anything too wild, or not at least that we saw. It was, again, just a really good job by the Chiefs. It was just a combination of really simple stuff. They were draining out their opponents effectively. They were then isolating them. They never allowed Direwolves to trade back picks. And yeah, their key fraggers just stepped up round after round. You could basically just tell Ethan to go kill someone or Worthy to go kill someone, and the job was basically done.
Yeah, I mean, Worthy, Ethan, what a lineup. They seriously have got such a great core ever since they got rid of Vast and brought Ethan in. The Chiefs looking very formidable. We're going to throw it over to the desk, though, where, of course, said ex-player now thinks he's an analyst. And, well, fortunately, he's got the best host in the business to carry him along.
Jeez, that's a double whammy there. I get the compliment, and Vast, you get the bin, I tell you what. But, I mean, what can you say, Vast? Ethan's popped off 12, 2, and 3. What an insane performance from your replacement. How can you even dispute what Xenox is saying?
Honestly, I just can't say anything. You know, I kind of just been a bit outplayed. No, Ethan had a really good game. I feel like Ethan has been having quite a few really good games, and like we haven't really been able to see exactly, you know, the plays he's been making. I feel like he's kind of just that silent killer. You know, you'll just be watching the game and then all of a sudden Ethan's got, you know, 2 kills, 3 kills. But no, what a performance from the Chiefs. They were just really dominant today, and, you know, Direwolves a little bit disappointed in, I guess, some of their decisions that they made. Just feels like they got a little bit too experimental with Coastline. I don't think today's the day to really be trying out new things on Coastline. You need to beat, you know, you need to get the 3 points. So honestly, there's so many questionable decisions from them. I could go on about all of them for ages, but ultimately, yeah, it just seems like they just weren't really on the same page. They weren't really working that well together. They all kind of seemed really split up and kind of doing their own thing. And yeah, just really poor performance from them.
Certainly was, and it leaves us with a lot of questions for Direwolves and also a lot of questions for Chiefs, which I'm sure can be answered by Digital. Let's bring him in, have a chat with the absolute mad lad. Of course, smiles as always. Digital, I mean, honestly, I don't even know how to intro you into this, because that was just an absolute shellacking. Did that feel as easy as it looked?
Yeah, we just sort of had a game plan and executed it. Yeah, Worthy and Ethan just sort of letting the dogs do the work. It was good.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's not too much to go over. You guys kind of just won every single gunfight. You know, I could sit here and, you know, ask you all these questions. But, I mean, something I wanted to talk about because I noticed like Coastline's not really getting played that much this season, and you know that was my first time actually seeing the changes on Coast, and I think ultimately it kind of makes the map a little bit better. Kind of, what's your like opinion on the updated Coastline, and maybe give us an insight on why maybe teams are banning it so much?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they're just banning it because they haven't sort of got a grasp on it yet. I think the main changes on it are just really like that VIP and service side. So that kitchen service site's a little bit more stronger, and VIP is a little bit easier to hold, I guess. But nothing too major. The map still plays out pretty much the same way. So yeah, maybe just teams are banning it because they're scared of it. I don't know. But no, the map's pretty simple and has stayed relatively the same.
Yeah, cool. Look, good job again, Didge. Big game from the team. Looks pretty easy. I'm sure you're feeling pretty good about yourself right now. So I just want to bring you down, you know, cut you down a peg.
Yeah, thought so.
Last week, what happened, man?
Do it.
You got absolutely destroyed by Wildcard on the rematch. You already beat them. I mean, come on, dude. What happened?
Yeah, I don't know. It sucks because I feel like we, as always, like we knew we were wrong, and I feel like if when Reed did that, we'd beat him. I don't want to sit here and say, oh, like, you know, we played bad. They played pretty good, honestly. It's just that we were playing pretty bad on the day. I think personally, I was like playing a bit too passive, and we needed to be like meeting. We needed to like meet the map control that we're contesting early on. So yeah, I don't know. I don't want to dwell on it too much. I think we know we went wrong, and I'm still confident in the map. So yeah, I don't know.
I mean, there's still a lot up for the season. There's still a lot up for grabs, both in OCN and APAC South for you guys. Look, I don't want to keep you too long, you know, ask you questions about the Cookie Monster or anything like that. I will just let you have the floor, as always, mate. Shoot.
Thank you to everyone watching. Keen for the games and the season ahead. Yeah, no, thanks to Chiefs and my teammates, and thank you to you guys.
Look, I hope you're keen for the games because you've got a couple more coming up, mate. You can't get out of those ones. But anyway,
Absolutely.
It's a pleasure having you on, as always, Digital, and we will definitely be seeing you within the next week. I'm sure of it.
Cheers, guys.
So, Dev, you know, we gave Vars the opportunity to have a bit of a chat about it before, but just what a performance overall from the Chiefs there. That gives us some promising signs, surely.
It does. I mean, we've seen a lot of promising signs of this new Chiefs roster. Look, I did say that they lost their best player. Maybe I was wrong, right? And look, this guy, this Ethan guy, he's pretty good. So yeah, look, fair play to Chiefs. But the concern for me is, you know, I'm just having a bit of fun with Ditch, but like the fact that they lost to Wildcard a day after beating them, it is concerning, right? The fact that Chiefs then lost to Bliss as well in OCN. Obviously, Bliss, very strong team. Chiefs shouldn't expect to beat them every single time. But it's not like Chiefs is, you know, all good and all set, and I'm ready to say, yeah, I backed them to take a #1 spot in APAC South or make it through the APAC playoffs to the major. I'm not convinced yet. Like, they need to do a little bit more to convince me. I think they're bloody good. When they're on their game, they look amazing. The number of flawless rounds we just saw is just a really optimistic sign for Chiefs fans. But, you know, got to prove it.
Speaking of the signs from teams, we've got the results here that we can go over and have a look at all the good, bad, and in-between signs, I guess. Elevate losing that first matchup, Vast. Do you put much weight in it?
I mean, you know, this was a really important game for both teams. And I would, you know, they have looked a bit shaky. And if they want to be on top, you know, every single game counts in APAC South. You just got to win every single game if you want to be on top. Simple as that. Full stop, exclamation mark. Well, you know, we see IG doing it. So, you know, everyone really needs to, you know, just win as much games as possible. And it is tough. You know, this league is tough. Everyone can beat everyone. So it's really hard for a lot of these teams to find form. And I think that's should be the focus right now. They've got a new player, so they really need to, you know, switch on and kind of work on some of the mistakes for next week.
Yeah, and Dev, as we go to the predictions, you know, Vars has said that anyone can beat anyone. You can see there, Q confirmed beating Knights. Not many people would have ever expected that to come out. And I suppose when you look at the Order and Invictus game as well, that was incredibly close. You know, Invictus kind of snuck away in overtime, but that could have been an Order win as well.
Yeah, look, honestly, you can see from the predictions, there's no faffing about. We thought today was going to be pretty cut and dry. We thought, yeah, that's an easy Elevate, easy Knights, easy IG, easy Chiefs. And we were far from the truth. Like, wildcard upset. I mean, 3 out of 5, right? Like, Elevate was pretty heavily favored here, but wildcard took it. You know, Q Confirm also played a great game. So definitely, I think a lot closer than perhaps we anticipated. And it just goes to show APAC South continually very difficult riddle to debunk. So I think we're just going to need more playdays, need more of these guys in the server to really get a short up idea of what's the go.
Maybe it's a difficult one to predict for you and Xenox down there, all the way down the very bottom. But don't worry,
Sorry,
Vast.
mate,
I know that you predicted with me and Guz. That's okay. I know that we're the superior beings here. Let's have a look at the standings and shut Dev up so he can't have a single word in this. Vast, give me your thoughts as we head into play day 4. Invictus on top, 8 points, 2 points clear of wildcard.
Yeah, I mean, I think IG being up there is the only one that doesn't really surprise me.
Yeah.
I think, you know, just seeing Knights and Elevate at the bottom down there is
Stage
just...
1 and Stage 2 champions, what?
Oh my God.
It really does highlight APAC South. And honestly, like, with that being said as well, who knows what could happen? It could completely turn around Knights, you know, go back to second place or something crazy like that. It really is hard to gauge. I think, you know, I think seeing Order and Q Confirm and Direwolves, I kind of would expect to see those teams kind of middle of the pack, not necessarily in that order. It's also really good seeing Wildcard up here. Sorry to cut you off. It's also good to see, you know, Wildcard second place. Haven't seen them there in a while.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, by the way, you can always interrupt me because your airtime is 10 times more important than mine and Dev's. And also, you know, we're probly not going to get you back on APAC South, so we may as well get the call.
Hopefully not.
Let it all out.
Dev, what are we thinking?
Yeah, I mean, the big one is just that the Stage 1 champions are at the bottom and the Stage 2 champions are second to bottom. So that's likely to change, I think, as we get deeper into the stage. But I think that one thing not likely to change is IG on top. Really exciting time to be an IG fan. Stage 1 was poo-poo. Stage 2 was poo-poo at the start, and then they started to clean themselves up. Stage 3 is looking hot fire, so good on them.
Yeah.
Let's see if they can keep up that momentum.
Vast, any final thoughts before we close things out here?
Nothing really to add. That's been already said. I mean, tonight was just an awesome night. I really love, you know, being on the desk for APAC South. The game, each game is just so intense, and you know, the league's just really hard to keep up with. And I think that, you know, makes it really special as well. And you know, despite what you said, I hope I can be back eventually someday.
Well, do you want to know what makes this league special, Vast? Is your appearance. It's your face on this desk. It's, you know, it's a pleasure to have you on here because we get some great insight that we really just can't get anywhere else. I'll be completely honest. So, once again, thank you for joining us on the desk, Vask. And I guess, Dev, it's always a pleasure for us. Do you want any final words? I'll let you have the floor if you want it.
Oh, mate, I just love listening to your voice, Rob.
I don't. So let's get this show on the road. Let's close things out. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us here for Play Day 3 of APAC South. We'll be back next week with a Super Week. So pencil it in. We'll see you then.